Enveloped by the white-hot atmosphere of Hampden Park on a gargantuan evening, Scotland know that a stuttering World Cup qualifying campaign could yet be salvaged. But the task facing them is a daunting one. In all likelihood, they must beat Holland to have any chance of securing a play-off. Good evening to you. This is Derek Ray, joined for commentary on ESPN by Tommy Smith. And Tommy, Saturday's 2-0 win for Scotland against Macedonia has given everyone here a bit of hope.
Well, Brown certainly set it up for them, and what a big win it turned out to be. Pretty neat goal there, but if you want to see a good one, how about McFadden? Unbelievable stuff, and that was the one that really put the icing on the cake. He took it in and he put it away with his right foot. Beautiful goal.
One of the best individual goals seen at Hampden in many a year. Well, Scotland got off to a miserable start in the section Group 9, going down to Macedonia. Plenty of downs, just one or two ups, including that weekend victory. But now it comes down to this meeting with the Netherlands, a Dutch side boasting a 100% record in the group. And they are seeking perfection, a clean sweep of victories when all is said and done. It's interesting, though, Tommy, that the Dutch haven't really put anyone away by a large margin in games away from the Netherlands.
No, they haven't, but they still have a good side. They're going to take a lot of beating. You can see what you're talking about, 21 points. They would like 24 from 8 games. And this is a tough one for Scotland. But, hey, you're in control of your own destiny, at least at this stage, so you should be fit to go out and do the business.
The Norway-Macedonia game will be kicking off at the same time as our match here as the teams come out. It is Hampden Park on this Wednesday night. Scotland against the Netherlands right after the break.
Around the turn and into the home straight, and here comes Tab Active up on the outside with a new way to bet. He launches through the field, past all bookies with much more fun and greater convenience. The remote gets a tap of the whip, and Tab Active kicks away, showing his class with ease of use and a faster way to bet. He's really bringing it home now. It's Tab Active, home by a half length. Bet with the tab on your TV. Get live odds, view form and all the results. All from home with your Foxtel remote. Tab Active, exclusive to Sky Racing. Bring it home.
Says the partnership is working well.
See the best local and international football, there's only one place. Call today to upgrade.
ESPN returns for another season of hard-hitting action. Kerry Collins leads the Titans against Ben Roethlisberger and the Super Bowl champion Steelers. The NFL Kickoff Classic, live Friday on ESPN and ESPN HD.
This week, the journey continues to crown poker's next main event champion.
That's what I'm talking about!
The 2009 World Series of Poker, Sunday on ESPN.
Well, that was back in 2003 when James McFadden scored the only goal for Scotland against the Netherlands. It was a playoff match ahead of Euro 2004. Everything looked rosy for the Scots, but then we know what happened when the tie switched to Dutch soil. 6-0 for those clad in orange. Scotland will have to win tonight without goalkeeper Craig Gordon missing because of a thigh strain. David Marshall deputises. Stephen Whittaker comes in for injured left-back Callum Davidson. The other changes are a matter of choice for George Burley. Paul Hartley preferred to Graham Alexander in the holding position, and Stephen Naismith wins his first international start to the inclusion of Stephen Fletcher. It is a bold-looking Scotland side. There is protection, though, with Hartley in front of that back four. Alan Hutton, amongst others, excellent in the game against Macedonia this past weekend. David Weir, approaching the age of 40, remember, was left out of the squad for the match against Norway recently, but recalled for these two games. I'll tell you, for Holland, Wesley Sneijder has made a quicker than expected recovery from an ankle injury. He plays from the start. I wonder how well that will sit with Snyder's club manager, Jose Mourinho. Like Scotland, Holland have made an enforced change in goal. Martin Stecklenburg is out with a finger injury. Michael Form of FC Utrecht, who started Saturday's 3-0 friendly win over Japan, plays again. Klaus Bo Larsen from Denmark is the referee. Scotland have something to go for, and not so long ago that didn't appear all that likely. A win against Holland tonight would mean an agonising wait of a month to find out if a playoff place is theirs or not. But first things first. Darren Fletcher in the heart of the midfield area for Scotland. Stephen Whittaker at left back. Goes at right back for his club side Rangers. And it's Stephen McManus alongside Davy Weir in central defence. An early touch to steady the nerves for the goalkeeper, David Marshall. The Dutch with nothing to play for in terms of points, in terms of qualification. Of course, they'd like, for purposes of neatness, to finish with a 100% record. George Burley, a man who's been in the hot seat throughout this campaign. This might well be his last game in charge of Scotland. It's a distinct possibility. We shall see. And Kout has tried to touch it into the path of Robin van Persie. Demi de Zeeuw is in the sitting position for the Dutch. Kout of Liverpool. Taking McManus with him. First corner of the match goes to Holland. Good run by the right back, Gregory van der Wiel.
Well, I thought the Scotland would come out with a little bit more fire under their hat, but they haven't, obviously. They've allowed themselves to be pinned back, and it's not a good situation to find yourself in against the Dutch.
And they know the importance of making a good start. Remember the decisive game against Italy a couple of years ago? They got off to a rotten start, conceded an early goal. Sneijder's corner. Weir with a header away. It's back in there by Gio van Bronckhorst. Now de Zeeuw. Sneijder. Again Weir standing guard. Nigel de Jong. Starved of first-team football at Manchester City.
Not only can Scotland not get the ball out of their own half of the field, they can't get out of their own box hardly here.
Draw here would mean Scotland will be assured of finishing second in Group 9, but conventional wisdom has it that 11 points won't be enough. Scott Brown puts in a tiger-like performance at the weekend. Made the breakthrough against Macedonia. It was very much a proverbial game of two halves. Scotland off the pace in the first half, but much more determined, much more organised in the second 45 minutes.
Well, they're going to need the second 45 minutes in the first 45 minutes tonight if they're going to do something. You can't give Holland the foothold that they're giving them and hope to get a result.
And Darren Fletcher, the judge to have been the culprit. Sneijder. Kout. Van Bronckhorst. A lovely little touch on by Sneijder. And it's Doug Kout! Rattles the woodwork. With 3.5 minutes gone at Hampden Park. And the Scottish fans breathe a collective sigh of relief.
Well, like I said, you can't afford to give the Dutch a foothold like this. And Kout, just outside of the box, he fires one in. The keeper is well beaten, but the keeper's best friend, and in this case, Scotland's best friend, is there too, because it comes off the upright.
Matt van Marwijk, a man who has been in charge of the Netherlands throughout this World Cup qualifying campaign. There is Bert van Marwijk's side. We didn't show it to you earlier on. Wesley Sneijder passing a late fitness test. He had been in a little bit of doubt as far as his place was concerned because of an ankle problem.
I'm not even sure why he's playing him when there is a doubt. I mean, the Dutch have nothing. There's nothing to go for here.
There's Paul Hartley playing his football nowadays for Bristol City. A swivel and turn by Stephen Naismith. And the free kick again will go Holland's way. Whittaker had moved up there.
Well, he just takes Van Persie out of it. There wasn't a whole lot in it.
Crucial for Scotland. Merely of academic interest to the Netherlands. Great to have the pleasure of your company on ESPN, wherever you are. Deseu. Wayward that time. News of an early goal for Norway in the other match in this section. Kicked off the same time as our game. Torsten Helstad at the early strike for the Norwegians against Macedonia. But really, I don't think the Norwegians are thinking in terms of a playoff spot. They might, of course, finish second in the group, but with their points total, that's not going to be good enough.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's a great achievement to finish second in the group, but then you find you don't get yourself a seat or a place in the World Cup final. That is very disappointing.
Norway's maximum is 10. Scotland already on 10 points. Naismith. Good-looking ball it was. And it was an interesting shot that came in from Kenny Miller. And Scotland have a corner this time.
Well, this thing bounces around a bit. Miller gets it. Nice ball here. And he plays it very well. He puts it in there. Van der Wiel puts a boot onto it and put it up over the top. Or was it Oyer? Oyer put a boot onto it. Could have gone anywhere. Lucky it didn't go into the back of the net. Unlucky for Scotland.
Almost 18 months have passed since Kenny Miller last scored for the Scottish national team in the 1-1 draw with Croatia. McManus and Weir have gone forward. It's Sean Maloney with the delivery for Scotland. Hartley coming off second best. Whittaker had remained back. Sneijder. De Jong. This is Deseu. Midfield vacuum cleaner for the Netherlands. Not particularly inclined to get involved in the more glamorous work, Izemi Deseu. Sneijder is being buffeted. Time by Scott Brown for Scotland. And that's a free kick once more. Darren Fletcher, not for the first time, hearing the shrill whistle of the Danish referee. That's not going to trouble the Scots. And this time Deseu is penalised. 8 minutes gone. Scotland 0, The Netherlands nil here at Hampden Park.
I would say Darren Fletcher's got to be very, very careful. He's starting to accumulate the fouls, and the referee is not going to take it for very long. Scotland having a tough time winning anything in midfield.
Scotland and George Burley always knew that they were going to see less of the ball here than the Dutch opponents. So much ability and pace throughout Dutch ranks. Alan Hutton, inviting ball! And Scott Brown, from just a couple of yards out, stretching for it. Unable to put it home.
Oh, this could have been a fantastic goal. Look at this, a beautiful ball driven into space on the back post, and he stretches for it. He gets in between four defenders. There are four defenders asking questions of one another, but he, the Scottish man, is the man who got there. Birdie wants it that one. Oh, that was the one. That was it.
It was a beautifully worked move by Scotland. Alan Hutton at the forefront.
It was a great ball. Unbelievable ball into the space where he hit it.
Well, that was careless as Kout tries to flick it into Van Persie's path. I'll tell you what, those of us of a certain age compare and contrast that Scott Brown effort with Billy Bremner back in the 1974 World Cup against Brazil, when Scotland drew 0-0 with the Seleção. Came so close to beating them. Good, lively, brisk tempo to this match at the outset.
Well, it looks like Scotland could get something down the wings here. If they keep the game wide down the middle, they're being stuffed. But every time they switch it out wide, they're getting something out of it.
And Percy trying to split open the Scottish defence. David Weir was having none of it. Naismith did well that time.
Again, there's nothing down that middle for them. I don't know why they keep going in there.
Demi de Zeeuw. Gregory van der Wiel, the Ajax player, winning his 5th cap tonight. Snyder. We had Hartley onto him immediately. It's given away by De Jong. Brown couldn't reach it thanks to the contribution of De Zeeuw. They're getting bunched up here in midfield. Davy Weir to Stephen McManus. That's not what he had in mind. Robin, as heels were clipped by Weir. Free kick.
Well, that was just a careless giveaway. Scotland not cherishing the ball around their own area, and when it comes across, then Weir he just hooked Robin. McManus was the guilty party first, but to give it away.
David Marshall of Cardiff City. And goal tonight for Scotland, as he was recently against Norway. Scotland were on the end of a 4-0 thrashing on the wrong end of that scoreline. It is Wesley Sneijder. Marshall without any difficulties at all.
Well, it was the perfect ball for the keeper just to get floated in, nobody near him. When you contrast that with the ball on the opposite end for Scotland, there was some difference in the delivery.
Bit of hesitancy there in terms of the decision from the near side assistant referee, Torben Jensen, offside against Naismith.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his foot was on the line. I think he came from his own side of the field.
It's touch and go.
Yeah, I think he touched the line and then he went.
Yellow card here for Stephen Naismith for kicking the ball away. And the first booking of the match.
Well, that was uncalled for from the referee. I mean, he just reacted to the ball coming down to him.
Van der Wiel. Andre Oya. There is a soft area, this Dutch side. You'd have to think it is at the back. Not that the other teams in Group 9 have exploited any weaknesses at the back by the men in orange. I think the fact that Oya, at the age of 34, is still the first choice tells you something. Not that he's a bad player, of course, but it's not a rich harvest of young Dutch defenders. Count had made the run. It's gone through to Marshall.
Yeah, I suppose you would have to feel that he does better with a collective group than he does with good individuals, Van Marwijk.
And alongside him there, Frank de Boer. He used to play his club football briefly here in Scotland for Rangers. Hutton was willing, but no chance of getting there. But encouragement for George Burley. Dirk Kuyt smacking the ball off the post for Holland, but then just a few minutes later, Scott Brown centimetres away from giving Scotland the lead.
Well, you can see Scotland are doing what they have to do. They're working their socks off. They're working their socks off for one another. And in doing that, they're making some fundamental errors, which they've got to be very careful of.
Well, how bold do you want to be against a team of Holland's calibre? Do you want to be gung-ho? Do you want to go hell for leather in search of an early goal? Or do you want to remain in the match and perhaps nick one at a set piece or on the break? It's often been the Scottish way in recent years. Certainly it was under Walter Smith and Alec McLeish. Van der Wiel just moves away from the scene of the crime, having caught Sean Maloney.
Oh, he just barges into him basically here and sticks the boot in between his legs. He's complaining that he didn't commit a foul. It looked like a foul to me.
Maloney takes this one. A bit of confusion at the back from Holland, and Scotland wanted the corner, and they've managed to win it.
Well, there was a bit of confusion. McManus nipping in here. Miller is also in there. He got pulled down just a little bit. There was a little bit of contact there, but the referee saw nothing wrong with it.
Maloney with it. And the goalkeeper's there. Form. Looked for a second as though he was about to drop it. Michael Form of Utrecht was given one half of the match against Japan this past weekend. Piet Veldhuizen of Vitesse played in the second half, so there was a decision for Bert Van Marwijk. Now Robin trying to get in behind the Scotland defence. Away they go again, the home team, through Maloney. Brown. It was difficult for Whittaker to control it. Whittaker and Hutton had switched. Whittaker moving to the right, Hutton to the left just for a second.
It was a lovely ball. Just a little bit too heavy of a touch on it.
Weir. Naismith. And Darren Fletcher taken out. And the yellow card perhaps forthcoming here. Robin van Persie and Fletcher together. The Arsenal man up against the Manchester United man. They know each other well.
Oh, let's see. Fletcher makes the turn there. Oh, that's a yellow card. I mean, he just cuts him down. Look at.
It looked as though the referee was going to reach for his pocket, but in the event, no booking for Van Persie. McManus was arriving that time. He's unable to make contact with the ball. Stephen McManus, who has been out for 4 months or so, hasn't played club football at all this season, but was thrust into the spotlight at the weekend and plays again tonight.
Just a little nudge here as he goes for it. A little bit unlucky.
Well, it's like a Hampden night of old. The noise reverberating around this old stadium on the south side of Glasgow. If Scotland can beat the Dutch, they surely will think they have a pretty good chance of being in the playoffs. And Darren Fletcher and Robin Van Persie in their own personal joust.
Well, two players, as you said, know one another very well from the club scene, but Fletcher just giving a shot there.
Reminder about our NFL coverage, if you're a fan of American football. We've got the Titans against the Steelers coming up. That's Thursday action. First game of the new season. Titans and Steelers on ESPN. Scott Brown. Van der Veel. It was slapped by Van der Veel. It's Darren Fletcher, like a man possessed here for Scotland. And the goalkeeper did his job, Michael Vaughan.
Well, this was a giveaway, and then Fletcher almost got onto the end of it. Watch this. He makes a great run. He knocks it down. He cuts inside, but the keeper had read the danger. Good coverage by the keeper, but great determined running by Darren Fletcher.
You just get the feeling, don't you, Fletcher is absolutely determined to play the captain's part.
Well, especially now that he's got a few shots from Van Persie, that's really bringing him into the game. Not that he needed it, but it certainly is walking him up.
Remember that Fletcher was the player singled out, or not in as many words, but in reality by Arsene Wenger as the main culprit in that game in terms of fouls. Here's Maloney. Now Kenny Miller for Scotland. And he was set through Miller, but the Dutch defending was stout.
Good running here by Maloney. He looks up to see where everybody is. He sees Miller. Good understanding here. He feeds a little diagonal ball to him. And Kenny Miller almost got onto the end of it. Shot nicely blocked down.
Yes, it was Matthijssen to the rescue. Joris Matthijssen. And Couch gives away the free kick.
Well, the Dutch are rattled here. They're rattled. They're struggling to get the composure back again. Scotland has them on the back foot.
Brown. Hutton. And the tackle coming in from Nigel de Jong. Beside the touchline. Nothing wrong with it, in the opinion of the Leoside assistant referee.
Well, I think there was something wrong with it because he never made any contact with the ball, and the ball went out for a throw. Here's the ball inside.
That was earlier on. Kenny Miller eventually touched the ball, but there did appear to be a bit of contact just before that.
Yeah, Kenny Miller was pulled on that ball. That's the ball I was talking about earlier. It was a hand on his shoulder.
Hutton. Missed a big slice of last season. Alan Hutton at Spurs because of a foot injury. And there's Naismith. And simultaneously went Van Bronckhorst. Piece of over-exuberance by Whittaker. And Van Persie is the recipient of the free kick.
Well, they're certainly not going to give Van Persie any time on the ball. They're not going to give him any liberty out there in the field. And the way he has acted in the beginning of the game, they put a little X on his back. So Van Persie is a marked man at the moment.
Holland trying to make it 8 out of 8. 8 wins out of 8 in Group 9. Snyder goes down.
Well, Robin is never going to get anything easy here. And he is a man that knows how to go to the ground. He is a man who knows how to get onto the end of it. Snyder, I'll tell you one thing, Jose Mourinho doesn't want to see him get injured.
Now here's Robin doing what he does best. Couch. Snyder, and he can pack a feral punch. Good goalkeeping by Marshall.
Well, all of a sudden the game switches to the opposite end of the field, and the Dutch just show you how lethal they are. Robin moves inside. Couch feeds Snyder. Watch Snyder come. Nobody picked him up. Look at, he had acres of space and forces a keeper into a really good save. If you're going to allow Snyder that kind of space just outside of the box like that, that's a recipe for disaster.
Wesley Snyder responsible for the corner. And it's De Jong trying to side foot that one in. Now Demi De Zeu. Wild effort by De Zeu.
Well, there was no danger in this one, really. With De Jong, I'm surprised he didn't just fire the shot, but instead he tries to put it back in for somebody else to put it away. And De Zeu comes up and he missed it completely.
It's a risky challenge by De Zeu. Maloney tearing towards him. Now Dirk Kuyt looking up to see where Robin was. Arjen Robben with the missed kick. What can happen to the best of them?
Well, the Scottish fans love that. They love that. I mean, he was trying to set it up and instead he misses it completely. Watch, takes it down. Here's the ball, he controls it with the left. He's going to swing the left at it, and the right just tips it out of the way.
Arjen Robben, of course, these days a Bayern Munich player. Moved from Real Madrid. Demi De Zeu. Nigel De Jong. The pressure was being applied by Scott Brown. Brown noticeably going higher up the pitch at times. In comparison with Darren Fletcher and Paul Hartley. Hartley, of course, tasked with shielding the back four. Van Persie. Oh, it's a clever ball. And Arjen Robben stings the palms of Marshall. It's away by Hutton. But that was the Netherlands at their most fluent best.
Well, just ripped Scotland apart. The back four have no answer here. Robin inside, reacts to it well, but the keeper reacts even better. Beautiful ball inside, good effort by Robin, but the Scottish keeper comes out and saves the day.
A draw here might keep Scotland in the hunt. It's unlikely. Bizarre things would have to happen in other groups. You just feel. And a win would take them to 13 points. Because the reason why it's so complicated is in all the other sections, in every other group but this, you've got to wipe out the results from the second place team against the team at the foot of the table. Once you do that, it becomes a very different picture.
You'd need a very up-to-date calculator to figure it all out the way things are going.
And we might just have to settle for the abacus. Andre Ooyer. Gregory van der Wiel. Now Joris Matthijssen.
one thing we do know is that if Scotland lose, they've no chance.
Bronckhorst. He was with Naismith. Marshall's there to gather. George Burley, a man who has taken a fair bit of abuse from journalists here in Scotland throughout his turbulent 18 months in charge. Not the most popular Scotland manager as far as the media are concerned. Slipped through by Brown to Kenny Miller. And Miller off the crossbar. Dazzling play by Kenny Miller.
Oh, what a great effort by Kenny Miller. Brown just flips the ball into him. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of danger when he comes onto it, but he shields his man well off, and then he just bangs it off the crossbar. He takes Mathiasen out of it, and he is very, very unlucky.
It's an excellent effort from Scotland so far, with almost 30 minutes gone at Hampden Park. They need 3 points to have a strong chance of making it into the playoffs. The Dutch have already won this group. Did so long ago.
Well, I know the Dutch are one of your fancies to win a World Cup. They're not going to win a World Cup with this back four, I can assure you that. He's going to have to make some kind of changes.
And they used a Celtic defender at the weekend in the friendly win against Japan. Bertman Marwijk, Glenn Loovens was on the bench this evening. Sneijder, that measured ball, and it's offside.
Well, a little bit of a break there, but he was offside. Let's see, he's not offside. He certainly wasn't offside when his last teammate touched the ball.
Martin Wolf, the assistant referee on the far side, who raised his flag. And Bronckhorst.
You know, one of these times the referee is going to call a serious foul against one of this back four for Holland. They're getting away with a lot of pushing in the back, in around the box.
Well, he's moved in here, Klaus Bo Larsen, after that confrontation between Van Bronckhorst and Naismith, and it will be a free kick to Scotland.
Yeah, I think that was accidental. I don't think he ever intended to headbutt him. He did headbutt him. A man who's well known in this part of the world too, Van Bronckhorst.
It's from a Rangers player, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. McManus, one of the targets. Paul Hartley to take the free kick. David Weir's in there too. It's Hartley. Scotland couldn't get a leg snapping onto it.
It looked like it was going to fall from Maloney there, but it was almost like in slow motion coming back towards him.
McManus. He was talking yesterday to the media, Steve McManus, about just what it means to him playing for Scotland here at Hampden. In front of 52,000 is very different. Playing for Celtic when not everyone is with him, particularly in an Old Firm game. Hartley. Was away by Demi Deseu. Let's come back here. Naismith, offside. Offside.
Oh, it would have been a pretty finish. It would have been a very pretty finish, and he just barely off. I mean, that, I think you've got to give that to the attacker. I mean, that was just so close. I think you've got to say he's onside in that situation.
always think it's very hard for officials when you've got different players at different angles. Who are you actually supposed to keep your eyes on? It was Naismith who touched the ball.
That's the problem with it today. I mean, obviously the player on front was much more in an offside position, but he doesn't matter. He's not involved in the play, and I think that was a very close call. I think Scotland should have got that call.
Well, they're giving the Dutch something to think about here. Holland have had their moments as well in this first half. 11 minutes to go to the break. Hutton. Sliced away by Marshall. It's cushioned by Naismith. Miller trying to return the favour to his Rangers teammate. Well, they're all fighting for the cause here.
Well, as you said, they knew they weren't going to win the possession battle. They knew they weren't going to win the skill battle, but they knew that they could win the fight, and that's what counts.
Van Persie. He's the man targeted by the Scotland supporters. Van Persie again, and Coutts couldn't quite get there. Scotland defenders holding the line.
Well, no question, and you know, Van Persie has the ability to just put it onto your foot in those kind of situations. Just, he reads the game so well, he can control the game so well. But he's taken the foot off the pedal a little bit here since Fletcher gave him that dunt.
Scott Brown on the turn. Oh yeah. Van der Wiel. And De Zeeuw into an enterprising position. Well, they was initially trying to match his run. Snyder. Robin. De Jong. George Browley spoke earlier about the importance of not letting the Dutch enjoy one-against-one situations on the flanks, about defending in pairs. And it's Whittaker and Maloney together, but not even the pair could do the job that time. Van Persie, off balance, let off for Scotland.
Well, it was going to be a very ambitious effort here. Good interchanging. Again, a little bit of a problem for the Scots with their tackling, not getting to the ball and allowing it eventually to go through to Van Persie. You can't afford to do that. Van der Wiel coming up. Van Persie just scoops it over the top.
So it's fine play by Van der Wiel. The young right back, 21 years of age. Couch. And Persie sitting in that deeper position. The spray passes around. Robin. And Whittaker. Really getting stuck in that time. Darren Fletcher. Stephen Whittaker. As the Scottish supporters look for another injection of tempo from the Scotland players, and Naismith and Miller, and a wonder save it was by Mikel Form. How on earth did it not go in?
Oh, I don't know how Miller missed it. And I'm not going to give all of the credit to the keeper, because Miller had an awful lot of net to shoot at. Watch. Here's the shot coming in. The keeper messes it up. Look at that. All he has to do is lift it up over him, and the keeper never gets close to it. The initial shot came in really well, hit Naismith. The keeper didn't handle it well. And if Miller puts it up about 2 foot higher, there's no way the keeper can ever get to it.
Well, twice in the space of a couple of seconds. Mikel Form preventing a Scotland goal. Well, the Scottish players can take considerable strength from this first half performance.
Look at this. Naismith hits it. The keeper never got to it, really. Oh, Miller. He will have nightmares when he sees that again.
And a very animated George Burley. Now, Scotland have to pay attention, and this could be trouble. Robin has got Snyder in the middle. But it wasn't the best of passes from Arjen Robben. And that'll be a goal kick as it comes off count. Well, Scotland were exposed. Insufficient numbers back.
Yeah, and Robin, a terrible ball here. All he has to do is play it into space. Instead, he plays it behind. There's no way Snyder can get back onto it, and it becomes an easy job. Hutton coming back, puts a big boot to it, and eventually it's cleared by Fletcher. I mean, this is the perfect ball. Hit it now. No point in hitting it at that stage. He should have hit it about 2 steps earlier. If he hits it in front of Snyder, Snyder walks in on top of the keeper.
Helter-skelter first half at Hampden Park. And Scotland have had chances, I think, to be honest. They've had more chances than perhaps they imagined would come their way.
Well, that man certainly has had the chances. I mean, he had the one that hit the crossbar, and then he had the one that the keeper somehow got a hand to. On a different night, he might have had 2 goals, and 2 goals tonight would be very, very precious for Scotland.
No one's been able to lay a glove on the Dutch in Group 9 so far. Reminded about our continuing coverage of the US Open on ESPN, day 11. That's the Thursday action from New York. And Bronkhorst. Kuiper's taken up his position inside the area. Van der Wiel. Hartley just sticking out a leg. Darren Fletcher now. Fletcher has Whittaker supporting on the left. Fletcher. Nodded down by Miller. He's hoping to head it into the path of Maloney. Well, he's not been watching passively. Josh Burley mentally kicking every ball with his players.
Well, you know now he wants to get into the dressing room with at least this score. He doesn't want to do something foolish here. You can see him signaling, make sure to go back. Don't give up anything at this stage. They've given a real good rattle to it here and have played very well, Scotland.
Paul Hartley. Now Alan Hutton. Weir. The foul was by Cow. He didn't think there was an awful lot there.
I don't think there was one either. I'm inclined to agree with Cow. He hasn't really been the presence that you would expect from him. Playing a completely different role than he plays with Liverpool, because he's almost playing as a true centre forward here, pushed up into the box most of the time.
Hartley's free kick. Manus always a threat at set pieces in the air. Hartley. And we are not taking any chances. Back to David Marshall. Scotland 0, the Netherlands 0, in front of 52,000, a sellout at Hampden on this Wednesday night. Miller. Well, Out of fingers from Alan Hutton. The referee right onto him. Now George Burley's furious because he feels the Dutch took that throw from the wrong position, about 10 yards or so forward of where they ought to be.
Yeah, they certainly did, and, you know, I mean, it was purely accidental. He never intended to release the ball. And he certainly didn't release it from where the Dutch took the throw in.
Couch. As Holland tried to unhinge this resolute Scottish back four. Van Bronckhorst and Whittaker to safety for now. Corner.
Well, it's never a good time to give up a goal, but I just spoke about it. This is the worst possible juncture of the game to give up a goal, and Scotland just need to be very alert.
They cannot switch off. They know that. De Zeeuw. There's De Jong. De Zeeuw. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. And there to scoop it up is David Marshall.
Well, I don't know. The ball seems to be doing strange things tonight. Both goalkeepers having a real trouble at it, taking it cleanly.
Shouldn't think we'll have any significant added time, if any added time at all here.
Well, there shouldn't be. I don't recall any reason why he should. But again, that little shot in the back there, Van Bronckhorst getting away with it. The Netherlands have been getting away with that all game.
And McManus conceding the free kick, and I think there's going to be a yellow card here as well. He's not standing for any nonsense, Klaus Bo Larsen. Looking it is, it's Hartley whose name has been taken. This is what happened here. It wasn't Hartley who fouled. It must have been for something Paul Hartley said to the referee.
Well,
McManus who put in the attempt to stop him.
I find that very strange yellow card. Very strange yellow card.
Well, temper's getting a bit frayed. Both sets of players arguing with Klaus Bo Larsen. Kenny Miller, a big part of the first half story. Hitting the crossbar and then missing a very good chance to put Scotland on front. Still talking to himself. Still trying to erase the mental picture of that miss. And the debate continues, it seems. But the scorers haven't been troubled. It has been fast, it has been furious, it has been highly energetic. Scotland, remember, in all likelihood, need a win in order to keep alive their hopes of securing a playoff. Kenny Miller with a shot off the crossbar. One of quite a few chances created by the Scots. 0-0 at Hampden Park.
Let's go out of the field and prove a little bit of what you're talking about.
ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass goes 5 days a week.
Yeah, but Manchester United won it last year. Arsenal didn't.
The game's hottest talking points under the microscope.
Let's face it, Real Madrid has gotten better. But the most important thing is to win.
Get fully up to date with all the news and latest action on the pitch.
Is he going to be consistently great? I'm not sure about that.
ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass. Now Fridays through Tuesdays, 7 p.m. on ESPN.
Noticing the beauty of the park at sundown, or appreciating its simplicity. Feeling good when your team comes out of the dugout to take the field. Anticipating the next swing, or guessing which pitch will be thrown. Knowing that in a split second, the outcome can be decided. It's how you live the game that makes you part of it. ESPN's Diamond Club.
September 10, and on this day in 2000, the Olympic flag, which was stolen as it flew over the Games in Belgium 80 years previously, was finally returned. Harry Priest, a 103-year-old war veteran who had stolen the flag as a souvenir as it hung over the 1920 Games in Antwerp, arrived in Sydney to return it to the organisers of the 2000 Games. Also on this day, a French Marine officer became the first man to cross the 14-kilometre-wide Gibraltar Strait by parachute. Thierry Dumonfort jumped from a balloon 5,000 metres high over Spain and reached Tangiers in northern Morocco, 28 kilometres away, 1 hour and 48 minutes later. And golfing great Arnold Palmer, winner of 7 major championships, including the Masters 4 times, celebrates his birthday on this day, September 10.
A new round of Italian football is about to kick off. After a break from World Cup qualifying, the best teams of Serie A return to pursue the Scudetto. Don't miss Lazio, Juventus.
It was a wonderfully constructed goal.
And Inter Parma.
What a strike!
The drama of Italian football plays this Sunday on ESPN.
ESPN's full throttle coverage of motorsports brings you so close to the action, you'll feel the thunder. Catch up with IndyCar's best as they fight for the season championship. Feel the heat of the NHRA drag racing series. The green light is on for the Grand Am road racing. And get down and dirty with the Traxxas Talk Series and Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League. Full throttle coverage all season long on ESPN.
Welcome back to Hampden on this Wednesday night, this decisive Wednesday night from a Scottish point of view. And my goodness, what an effort by George Burley's players in the first half here against the Netherlands, but no reward. A couple of close shaves. But 0-0 is the score. The Dutch trying to make it 8 out of 8 in Group 9. Now, it's a very busy day as far as World Cup qualifying is concerned. All these matches to tell you about. Sweden, I can tell you, have actually defeated Malta by 1-0. A very late goal there in that game for the Swedes. And most of these other matches kicked off at around the same time as our game. England are 2 goals to the good against Croatia in the early stages of that match. England closing in on a place in South Africa. Portugal are leading against Hungary. Pepe has scored in that match. And Portugal, of course, looked as though they might just be out this past weekend, only to score near the end against Denmark. That has given them a new lease of life. Serbia are leading France by 1-0 in the early phase in Belgrade. Here in Glasgow, Scotland 0, the Netherlands 0 on ESPN. Stay with us.
If the main income earner in your family passed away, could you find the thousands of dollars needed over many years to pay your mortgage, living expenses, and to raise your kids? You wouldn't have to with life insurance. But getting life insurance can be hard. Appointments with financial advisors, complex paperwork, intrusive medicals, all before you find out the cost. Not anymore. Using breakthrough technology, you can now receive an instant life insurance quote for anyone aged 18 to 59 direct to your mobile phone via text message. It's a free service from Insurance Line. The only cost is the normal charge for a text message. Simply text the age and gender of the person you'd like a quote for to 0428 39 39 39, and within seconds, you'll receive your life insurance quote. So for a 45-year-old male, simply text 45M. For a 35-year-old female, text 35F, and so on. We'll send you a quote for $100,000 cover as an example and tell you how to apply. We can quote for cover up to $500,000. So what are you waiting for? Getting a quote couldn't be easier or quicker. You could have one by the end of this commercial. So write this number down or enter it into your phone now. 0428 39 39 39. Then text age and gender for an instant quote. If you'd prefer to speak to someone, call Insurance Line on 13 88 10.
Around the turn and into the home straight, and here comes Tab Active up on the outside with a new way to bet. He launches through the field, past all bookies with much more fun and greater convenience. The remote gets a tap of the whip, and Tab Active kicks away, showing his class with ease of use and a faster way to bet. He's really bringing it home now. It's Tab Active, home by a half length. Bet with the tab on your TV. Get live odds, view form and all the results. All from home with your Foxtel remote. Tab Active, exclusive to Sky Racing. Bring it home.
A new round of Italian football is about to kick off. After a break from World Cup qualifying, the best teams of Serie A return to pursue the Scudetto. Don't miss Lazio, Juventus.
It was a wonderfully constructed goal.
And Inter Parma.
What a strike!
The drama of Italian football plays this Sunday on ESPN.
Scotland 0, the Netherlands 0 in Group 9. Belting first half here at Hampden Park, and Scotland giving the Dutch quite a few scares, although it must be admitted that for their part the Netherlands had chances as well. Free-flowing contest this, and Scotland in search of 3 points that might just give them a playoff spot. Tommy, what have you made of it?
Well, a couple of minutes into this game, Van Bronckhorst with a nice ball. It was flicked around Snyder to Kout, and his shot comes off the upright. Keeper was well beaten, but didn't mean anything. Very, very close. Nice interchange by the Dutch. Almost a good finish, but then a half an hour into this one, Kenny Miller shows what he's made of. He starts it, he pulls off his man here, he keeps his man, Mathiasson, away from the ball, and then he wings one in that comes off the crossbar. Great body control here, and a brilliant shot. He's just very, very unfortunate. And if he was unfortunate there, I think he should have buried this one. Naismith takes the initial shot. Keeper lets it come off the woodwork, and Kenny Miller coming in. He had all the net in the world to shoot it. Watch, the keeper's on the ground. I think the more often you see this and the more often he'll see it, he should have scored. It was a brilliant save, but he shouldn't have given the keeper the opportunity.
The Dutch with the advantage as far as possession's concerned. And a couple of Scottish bookings to tell you about. Paul Hartley just before the break for something he said to referee Klaus Bolarsen. Stephen Naismith earlier on for kicking the ball away. So 2 dissent-related bookings for Scottish players. A win is what they're after. A draw, in all probability, won't be enough, but the Scottish supporters getting right behind their side, as you would expect. What will the second half bring us? Find out right after the break on ESPN.
It's not where you go that matters. It's how you get there that counts. Suzuki Sierra, the original rugged 4x4.
Trophy in European club football.
A new round of Italian football is about to kick off. After a break from World Cup qualifying, the best teams of Serie A return to pursue the Scudetto. Don't miss Lazio, Juventus.
It was a wonderfully constructed goal.
And Inter Parma.
What a strike!
The drama of Italian football plays this Sunday on ESPN.
September 10, and on this day in 2000, the Olympic flag, which was stolen as it flew over the Games in Belgium 80 years previously, was finally returned. Harry Priest, a 103-year-old war veteran who had stolen the flag as a souvenir as it hung over the 1920 Games in Antwerp, arrived in Sydney to return it to the organisers of the 2000 Games. Also on this day, a French Marine officer became the first man to cross the 14-kilometre-wide Gibraltar Strait by parachute. Thierry Dumonfort jumped from a balloon 5,000 metres high over Spain and reached Tangiers in northern Morocco, 28 kilometres away, 1 hour and 48 minutes later. And golfing great Arnold Palmer, winner of 7 major championships, including the Masters 4 times, celebrates his birthday on this day, September 10.
For the latest and most up-to-date TV listings for ESPN and ESPN HD, log on to espn.com.au. It's the one-stop site to find out when your favourite sports are on in Australia and New Zealand. Click on the Highlights tab to check out a month-long schedule of programming. Upload your own video and be part of the ESPN exclusive Diamond Club. It's the one-stop site for the most complete listings and highlights on ESPN and ESPN HD. espn.com.au. Log on today.
Jumped over the lazy dog.
Good. I'll take those off. And let's try it again.
A quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. That's amazing.
I told you.
You're good. A quick brown fox jumped over the...
Live college football continues this Sunday on ESPN with a blockbuster battle between 2 nationally ranked opponents as the USC Trojans face the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Live Sunday on ESPN.
Scotland are still in it. They're still alive in the quest to make it to South Africa. But they need something magical in the second half against the group leaders, the Netherlands, who haven't really put a foot wrong in this section. And Scotland taking the game to Holland at various times in the first half. Now can they push on in the second 45? Stephen Whittaker for Scotland. It was a performance full of vigour, full of ideas, full of energy from George Burley's men. They need to keep it going. Whittaker of Rangers.
You know, initially, when this game started, I didn't think it was a game that could be won by a 1-0 score, but one might be enough to nick it the way things have gone, Derek.
Norway, we should tell you, are leading 2-0 against Macedonia. John Arnorisa scoring the second shortly before the break. That's the other game in this group. Kicked off at the same time as this match. Norway could theoretically finish second in the group if they were to defeat the Macedonians and if Holland beat Scotland. But Norway's points total isn't going to be good enough. And Bronkhorst sliding it forward to Arjen Robben. Sneijder. Yes, the understanding is there between Sneijder and Robben in their time together at Real Madrid. Although now both with different clubs. Sneijder playing for Inter in Italy, Robben for Bayern Munich in Germany. Scotland trying to roar forward. Hutton with that speculative ball, fielded easily enough by Mikael Vaughan.
Just a little bit too deep. Kenny Miller was lurking in the area. A little bit too much height and distance on it.
Scotland without James McFadden tonight. Missing through suspension, of course. Such an inspirational player at the best of times. Robben. Trying to go around Hartley. And Couch. Just couldn't get his head to it. Here is Van der Wiel. Lofted in there by De Zeu. De Jong. Sneijder. It's helped on by Couch. Van der Wiel. Robin for Holland, who always enjoy keeping hold of the ball. Robin. It was doughty, spirited defending out there by Naismith, who's helping out.
When it had to be, because Robin very dangerous inside. He's trying to cut the ball back into the middle. Couch was in a good position, but Naismith did a good job on it.
Wesley Sneijder's corner for the Dutch. Away by McManus. Oh, and it's dropped for De Zeeuw. And the whistles come to Scotland's rescue.
Again, one of those dangerous situations created by Scotland themselves. That's a bad clearance, and De Zeeuw was almost on the money there. When the ball went back in, of course, we're all offside. Not really. Not really. Scotland got a break. My initial reaction was they were offside, but they really weren't.
I think Maloney was playing everyone on.
Yep.
Minutes into the second half. Tense night at Hampden. Scott Brown. And perhaps just biting off more than he could chew. Couch.
Not a great 50 minutes for Scott Brown.
There's Van der Wiel. Brown, of course, nearly put Scotland in front early on in this game. Hartley. Hutton. And Miller's in pursuit. Running across the line. And Oyer was there with him. It's going to be Oyer's free kick.
Well, this referee doesn't take kindly to tackles at all. I mean, he had a grip of Miller by the head. Oyer had a grip of Miller by the head.
Robin. Confronted by Alan Hutton. And Marshall there to claim it for Scotland. Only around 2,500 Dutch supporters inside Hampden tonight. They weren't entitled to a bigger allocation than that. It was as many as they asked for. Matthijssen. Strong challenge up against Kenny Miller.
Well, it had to be a strong one. Kenny Miller, a couple of lovely little step-over moves. Big man, good on the ball.
And Naismith didn't quite get the break of it. Forward by Van Bronckhorst. There was pressure from Scotland high up the pitch. Pressure from George Burley's men. 10 points out of 21 so far. Under George Burley, the Scots have won just 3 games. 2 of them against Iceland, the third coming against Macedonia, the third victory this past weekend. Naismith. Here's Darren Fletcher, the Scotland captain.
Well, Kenny Miller got nailed just before that, couldn't take any part in that play, and it ended up with Miller trying to just chip the keeper. Wasn't even close. Now Fletcher trying to clip the keeper. Chip the keeper. Try that for tongue twister. Miller looks like he got a bad elbow into the midsection.
Oh yeah, was almost running into trouble. He's running towards Scott Brown. Couch is knocking it on. Now Robin trying to go around Alan Hutton. Waiting here to see what the decision is, Ian Robin. And it's going to be a Scotland free kick by the look of things.
I would imagine so. Robin thinks that it's going to be a yellow card against Hutton. I'm not sure why he even thought it would be a yellow card against Hutton. It was Robin who committed the foul very clearly.
Ian Robin is always one to let referees know exactly what he thinks about their decisions.
Yeah, and it's very seldom that it ever agrees with the referee. He's never on the same page.
Miller. To keep his balance, it comes off Joris Matthijssen. Alan Hutton. Maloney not tall enough to do any real damage inside the area in that situation. With contrast and managerial approaches, George Burley constantly on the edge of the technical area. Matt van Marwijk watching from the grandstand. Maloney succeeds in winning a throw. Commitment from Nigel de Jong. Whittaker. Darren Fletcher. Did well to give it back to Stephen Whittaker. And Naismith wanted it.
Oh, just a little bit too much loft on it again. That's a couple of times now the Scotland have been set up, but just driven a little bit too hard, looking for that head inside of the box. No danger.
I just wondered at what stage George Burley might think about a second striker with Gary O'Connor, the main candidate for that role. I suppose you could call Naismith a striker. He normally is for Rangers, but not an out-and-out central striker. He's being used in a wider position here by George Burley.
Well, I think you have to ask the question is, what is Burley thinking in terms of, obviously, I don't think he can be saying to himself a draw is good enough for us here. We need to get the win out of here. So at some point he's going to have to take a chance to get the win. I mean, as long as it stays 0-0, you have a chance of nicking one, and you know, you could be the lucky one to nick it. But I don't know. I think he's got to go for it. I mean, not saying he's not going for it now, but I think he's got to change the mentality of the team here. They have to start taking chances. Unless you think a draw is good enough to get you through.
Well, I don't think anyone can count on that. Who knows, it might be. But it's difficult to put your money on such an outcome. Oh, Darren Fletcher isn't going to get away with that. The referee saw it. Yellow card. Looking for the Scotland captain.
Well, it's not the first time he's fallen foul of the referee tonight, believe me. And this time he doesn't have too many complaints. I mean, he absolutely walks into the visa.
Hartley, Naismith and Fletcher all booked now for Scotland by Klaus Bo Larsen, the Danish referee. Couch. De Jong. Headed away by Whittaker. Maloney. Whittaker continues his run. And there's Maloney. Beautifully timed. Darren Fletcher. You don't want to give the ball away to the Dutch in that sort of position. Robin van Persie. Now Couch. Well, super ball it was by Dirk Kuyt, and Scotland in a bit of disarray. As David Weir tried to clear his lines. And Kuyt just then getting into the position that he normally occupies for Liverpool. And here's once more, showing far too much of it to Darren Fletcher. Now then, Naismith.
Oh, again, just a little bit too much thump on it. It needed to be just a little bit softer, and Naismith was in serious business.
Van Persie as the Scots retreat. Robin. What we can see is that the results in the other groups, particularly in Group 3, not necessarily against Scottish interests. Come back to that. Robin. Cout. And it's Tezeo who's in there. Comes off the head of Stephen McManus. Behind it goes for the corner.
Well, nicely set up here. McManus does a good job of just getting a head onto the ball and getting it out of there. He just muscles the player out of there. But it doesn't matter what happens in the other groups if Scotland don't defend a little better here than they're doing, Derek.
Northern Ireland are losing at home to Slovakia by a goal to nil. Slovenia are beating Poland 2-0. Snyder with it. Oh, it looked for a second as though it was there for Dirk Kuyt. And he feels that is a chance squandered.
Oh, it was too. Look at, he rises. Nobody rose with him. He's on his own. See him step into the ball. Nobody came with him. And he has all that top of the net. They wanted it. Not sure why. Of 7 wins. What do they need another one for?
Well, no Dutch side has ever completed a qualifying campaign with a 100% record. In fact, if you look at the last couple of Dutch campaigns, in the last game when they've already qualified, and the final game has been essentially meaningless, they've played quite abysmally. Remember, against Belarus in the last campaign ahead of Euro 2008, meant absolutely nothing and they went down. Misses out Brown. It comes to Kenny Miller as he waits for the support to arrive.
Kenny Miller was amongst orange men there. He just couldn't get anywhere. There was orange shirts everywhere.
Offside flag. Actually, what's the referee given here? He's given the free kick to Scotland.
I don't know, you just have to feel that at some point Scotland's going to have to wilt to have been working so hard. Kenny Miller, one of those that has really worked his socks off.
Handed on by Naismith for Scotland. And by Robin in the end. It comes off the head of Hartley. Again, the Scots taking issue with where that throw-in was taken from. Van der Wiel. And Robin Van Persie. Arjen Robin. Kuyt goes down inside the area. A stumble by Dirk Kuyt more than anything. And Klaus Bo Larsen has moved over and he's decided in this month of simulation debates that Dirk Kuyt ought to go into the book.
Another one. Another simulation here. Is there any knees for it? Well, there's a little bit of contact. I'm not sure it's an out-and-out dive. He certainly looked like he was fighting his way through to the ball. I mean, I just can't believe that every time a player falls now that he's diving.
Kuyt generally on the honest side as players go.
Okay, I wouldn't give him a penalty kick there, but I certainly wouldn't give him a yellow card.
Well, my own view is that if it makes even one player think twice about going down, deliberately going down, then it's no bad thing to be erring on that side of the law. Well, everyone has his own opinion. Now, Arjen Robin, clean through here for the Dutch. Robin and Marshall for Scotland. Took the weight off the shot.
Well, Robin looks like he is a sitter here. They give the ball away in midfield. All of a sudden, Robin's walking in. Snyder feeds it through to him. He gets inside of his man, pulls it back. And that's a great save by the keeper. He didn't know much about it. The keeper was actually going to his right. Robin's shot was going to his left, but he does somehow manage to get his hip on it, and that's a brilliant save, especially in the context of the way this game is poised.
Snyder with the corner. It misses out. Stuck out. It comes instead to De Zeeuw. Too much loss from the combative Demi De Zeeuw.
Well, that's not the first time that he's pulled it up over the top, but look at Robin. He gets away this time from Hutton. He takes Hutton to the cleaners. Pulls it in. Wide open. Gets it onto his right foot. Keeper has earned his pay for the day, believe me, for Scotland.
Should tell you that France are down to 10 men. Hugo Lloris sent off early in that game against Serbia, but they have equalised through Thierry Henry. Now, George Burley is going to make a substitution with 63 minutes on the stopwatch. And Chris Commons will come on, the Anglo-Scot. Quite an impressive dance of delight from George Burley, celebrating the second goal at the weekend, the James McFadden goal. It's as though all the pent-up frustrations of an entire qualifying campaign came out in that one celebration.
There might be a repeat of it, or maybe even a better one if somebody could score from here. Question is, who do you take off? Is it Maloney that's going to go?
Robin has to run at defenders at pace, and Robin didn't pull out. Maloney goes down, and a flashpoint here at Hampden. It's a yellow card. That's how the referee has resolved matters. Looking for Robin.
Well, he just doesn't pull out on Maloney here. The man I was just talking about, and that's very dangerous. He actually comes down on him. Watch the way he brings the foot down, and he has no complaints there about a yellow card. Lucky man just to get away with yellow.
Well, Van Marwijk and the Netherlands trying to make it 8 wins out of 8. They've treated the other side of the section rather like cannon fodder. The Scots giving them quite a test. Darren Fletcher. Now Sean Maloney, the little Celtic man. Maloney, plenty of orange shirts were back for the visitors. Van Persie. Kout. Now the right back, Gregory van der Wiel. Not quite the same thrust from Scotland in the second half. Robin again trying to get on the end of it. It's away by Weir. And now, well, with 66 minutes gone, we will have the change. And it is going to be the end for Paul Hartley, the midfield anchorman. And on will come Chris Commons. So perhaps just a sign here that George Burley wants to throw off the shackles a little bit. Hartley, of course, always has a specific role. But Commons a bit more adventurous. 6th international appearance for the Derby County man.
Well, I think the fact that Hartley has worked so hard is also factored into it. There's 2 factors here, that Burley wants to be a little bit more adventurous and he wants to take a chance or two, but also Hartley is getting tired out there.
Probably will mean Scott Brown sitting a little bit deeper. Now Kout in the centre, away by Stephen McManus.
Scott Brown has struggled.
Darren Fletcher flicking it forward somewhat hopefully. Does come to Sean Maloney. He has Commons to his left. Maloney goes it alone. Now Commons. Didn't fool Van der Wiel, the excellent young right back for the Netherlands. Now it's Kout. Scotland a bit slow to get bodies back. Robin. Van Persie's layoff. Slick play here from the Dutch. Wesley Sneijder unable to find a way through against Alan Hutton, the robust, powerful Alan Hutton.
But the Dutch just look so fluid when they start moving and moving the ball around, good possession, and they just, at times, they're just strolling through midfield out there.
Maloney. Darren Fletcher. A draw would leave Scotland on 11 points and at the mercy of the other groups, the second-place teams in the other groups. Kenny Miller has had his chances in this game. Will another one come his way? Whittaker. Miller. Now Scott Brown. Wanted on by Miller. Naismith. And Miller! And the goalkeeper. Michael Vorm somehow got in the way of that. Did he really know anything about it?
Not at all. Kenny Miller has to be wondering what he has to do in this game to score. This ball breaks nicely back to him, and the keeper spills it. Almost spilled it onto his own net, but spilled it around the post. Naismith with a great intervention to knock the ball down, and Kenny Miller just couldn't get it in.
It's Commons with the corner, and there's no one there for Scotland. Well, Michael Vorm, not the first choice goalkeeper for the Netherlands, but we've had to mention him quite a few times tonight.
Sometimes you need a little bit of luck. Scotland certainly didn't get it when the shot came. Naismith put a boot out to it. Burley wanted that one so badly, and Kenny Miller just has been so unfortunate.
Well, it's one thing about Scotland. They make it interesting. They generally take it to the very last game in a qualifying campaign. Scott Brown. Getting it back from Naismith. DeZeu. Robin was anticipating that contact might come from Maloney. It didn't. Wasn't the ideal ball from Arjen Robben. And the header from Hutton out towards the touchline. Sneijder. 19 minutes left. And Brockhorst. Plenty of resilience from the Scottish defenders, and away by Darren Fletcher. There's Commons. DeZeu. Nigel de Jong. Played just 28 minutes for Manchester City this season. Not starting at club level. Still, the Scottish fans remain behind their team. Van Persie. And Robin doesn't have any hope of getting to that one. And just like that, the decision comes to end Robin's night. His number is up. And the replacement will be the exciting young Eljero Elia of Hamburg. He'll win only his second cap. And we'll be seeing Elia back here in Glasgow in a few weeks' time, because, of course, Hamburg are in Celtic's Europa League group. It's given away by DeZeu. Kenny Miller. Immediate activity for Elia. Another try to hang on to it. Van Persie. Here's Couch. It's his turn to hear it from the Boo Boys. After his attempt at calling the referee earlier. Van der Wiel. Goal kick.
Oh, no danger for Scotland. Big danger for them is that clock that keeps ticking away, and George Burley knows that.
Constant signals. Commons. It's a Scotland throw. Well, the last campaign ahead of the European Championship finals ended in heartbreak. Possession of that goal at the death against Italy. Here they are, Scotland fighting to the bitter end against the Netherlands. Hope you're enjoying our World Cup qualifying coverage on ESPN. Andre Oya. And Bronkhorst. De Jong. Snyder taking up his position. Scots tried to break quickly.
Again, they just can't get that ball over the top with the right weight on it to allow somebody to run onto it. It's either too long or it's into the keeper's clutches.
Inside the final quarter of an hour. It was misread a little bit by David Weir, but he was able to get back. Really is a tribute to his professionalism that he can still play international football at the age of 39, going on 40.
It's no mean achievement, believe me.
There's an arrangement with George Burley whereby he doesn't get picked for the squad if he's not going to start. It was very clear he was going to have a heavy involvement in these two games against Macedonia and the Netherlands. The two games to perhaps determine Scotland's fate. Here's Whittaker for Scotland, and what a chance for Sean Maloney! Form is there again. Maloney in the clear.
Oh, Fletcher did a great job of winning that ball, and then the ball's played inside. No question of him being offside, but for some reason he never really touches the ball.
The flag did go up on the far side, interestingly enough.
Oh, he wasn't offside. He was on by a yard and a half.
Elia now with that burst of acceleration. And Davy Weir is managing to do what he could to thwart the Dutch. Well, it's been a match of genuine chances for the Scots. Here's another Dutch change. Off will go Wesley Sneijder. And on will come Rafael van der Vaart for his 71st international appearance. They were teammates until just recently. They were teammates at Real Madrid. Snyder's now with Inter. Van der Vaart, I think, might wish he had never joined Real Madrid in the first place. Hasn't been a particularly happy marriage.
No, it hasn't. It's strange there was so many Dutch players with Real Madrid, and now that's been broken up. That little conclave has been broken up.
Scotland have 13 minutes plus stoppage time in which to find the goal that might just give them a chance of going to South Africa.
Well, I would have to say, when you look at it in the cold, hard light of dawn, they had enough of chances to put them in South Africa. Or put them in with a chance anyhow. I mean, they've had a number of really gilt-edge opportunities.
Dzeev. Now Matthijssen. Giovanni van Bronckhorst. 93rd international appearance for him. Now the sprightly Elia. Recently joined Hamburg, Elia from FC Twente. The team managed by Steve McLaren. Flicked on by Van Persie. Weir wasn't going to take any chances at all. No risk philosophy. Kout. It's away by McManus, only as far as Van der Wiel. Dzeev. Van Bronckhorst on the Dutch left. Scotland defending in numbers, getting bodies behind the ball. Van der Wiel. Plenty of discipline about the Scottish performance as well. The organisational side has been brilliant, but here's Elia. Now Van Persie. Just had it nicked away by McManus. Back it comes, Van der Vaart. That's one of his specialities. But Marshall was alert.
Oh, great tackle by McManus to take the ball away. Okay, it did break out and Van der Vaart got an opportunity.
Kout. He's given it to Darren Fletcher. Moving into the final 10 minutes at Hampden. What can Scotland pull out of the fire? Fletcher must finally win the ball up against Nigel de Jong. Darren Fletcher tries again. Sean Maloney. And it was a splendid ball by Maloney. And there at the far post was Commons. Wide of the target from Chris Commons.
Oh, again, just a little bit off the mark. Commons never really got behind the ball to be fit to attack it and drive it in. A lovely ball from Maloney. Look at this. He just never came to terms with it. He needed another half a step.
Another substitution is in the offing for Scotland. Gary O'Connor getting his instructions from Terry Butcher there. The former England captain, of course, who's George Burley's right-hand man. Great friends from their time together as players with Ipswich. Oh, it was a risky one. And Elia's through here. This could settle it. Elia for the Netherlands. It's cruel for Scotland, but the Dutch are on the cusp of making it 8 out of 8 in Group 9. A lapse in concentration, and it proves fatal.
Oh, it certainly does, and look at this, nodded right down to him, and Elia said, hey, I'll take that, and he just tucks it into the old onion bag. Very, very unfortunate when the ball comes through here. Never really got turned around onto it. Weir was the man who was the culprit, and Elia looked like he had ruined his opportunity of putting away. Maybe Hutton could get to it, couldn't get to it, and that should be the end of the day for Scotland. Weir, it's very, very unfortunate, but he did make a mistake.
To be fair to Weir, it was a difficult ball to reach decisively. He was put under pressure in the first place, but he's the man who's going to have egg on his face. And Elia, the youngster, has broken through. El Hierro Elia, in only his second international, scores his first goal for the Netherlands. And Gary O'Connor is now on. That goal coming just as George Burley was about to make the change.
Huge disappointment for Scotland, and it was just one of those things. A ball driven up in the air, looked like there was no problems with it, and all of a sudden Weir couldn't get ahead to it, couldn't do anything decisive with it, and Elia pounced on it.
Well, if it finishes this way, Scotland, it appears, will end up third in the group, behind Norway, who are leading against Macedonia. It is 2-1 now, however, on that game. Macedonia pulled one back. Scotland free kick here.
Well, I think the big thing now is the points total that whoever is finishing second in this group is going to have. That's going to be against them.
There's 10, quite frankly, is not going to be enough. So I don't think Norway can hold out too many hopes, if any at all. Darren Fletcher. It's Gary O'Connor, big, strong central striker. Plays, of course, for Birmingham City under a Scottish manager, under the former Scotland boss, Alec McLeish. Hutton. Substitution time for the Dutch, and Klaas Jan Huntelaar will come on for Robin van Persie. Given the booze, it had to be either Van Persie or Kout, didn't it?
Yeah.
It is Van Persie. Well, they're happy, the Dutch supporters. Just a few minutes away now from becoming the first Dutch squad ever to make it a clean sweep of victories in a qualifying campaign. Huntelaar recently made the move from Real Madrid to AC Milan in a deal worth around £15 million. Hutton for the Scots. There must be plenty of tired Scottish legs out there. Elia, anything but tired, the French player. And is it going to be a second goal? It very nearly was for Van der Vaart. Well, he wants the corner. He's not going to get it.
Well, again, the speed of Elia coming in with those fresh legs has caused all kinds of problems for Scotland. And he does manage to get in behind here. A nice turn inside. And I thought it was a corner kick, but obviously it doesn't make any difference. But I thought it's a goal kick.
It's slipping away. When Scotland last made it to a major tournament back in 1998 at the World Cup finals. Haven't been involved since then. And, well, it could be that George Burley just has a few minutes left as Scotland manager. It certainly is what I have heard the last few days. But a failure to keep Scotland's interest alive beyond this game will mean termination of the contract.
Well, it's a, you know, it's a very unfair system, isn't it?
Oh, Darren Fletcher. Let's come back to the substitute who tried a lob there, Gary O'Connor. Didn't quite come off for him.
Well, that's what I mean. You know, Burley put the men out there that could score, that had the opportunities to score, that didn't score. Look at this. I mean, the net is empty. Gary O'Connor can't get it in there. But at the end of the day, it's the manager who bears the brunt of what happens. I think he's done a fantastic job with Scotland for the players that they have and the competition that they're in. And, you know, I mean, they were very much in this game today and should have won this game. It's not Burley's fault that Scotland didn't win this game, in my opinion. And I'm not a Scot, so I can say that.
Well, I think the problem is that when you looked at the group beforehand, it was a fairly gentle group by comparison with others. And Scotland were expected to, at worst, finish second. It appears that they might not do that. Yes, it all started horribly, the defeat away to Macedonia. Whittaker. Naismith. Here is Couch. Scotland, by the way, have just one victory in the last 9 games against the Dutch. They've scored just 2 goals in those 9 games, and that run is about to be extended to 10. 2 goals in 10. Count. The supporters haven't given up. You can see Serbia against France if you're in Latin America. That's coming up on Thursday. Deseu. And Van der Vaart is blocked by Davy Weir. Away goes Commons. Finally came to an end thanks to the intervention by Nigel de Jong. Well, if Scotland had been played off the park, it would be one thing, but they certainly haven't been comprehensively outplayed at all.
Well, I mean, you would have to make a fair case that Scotland were the better team.
Elia getting no joy this time. Elia's goal, the difference.
And I know you take into consideration, okay, what Netherlands had going, that there was really no interest in whether they won or not. They wanted to win, obviously, but for Scotland it was life or death, and they certainly played that way.
Deseu. Free kick. Free kick to the Dutch. Just about dead centre, given away by McManus.
A lot of tired legs out there for Scotland, as you said a few minutes ago. They've given it their all.
An argument here between Van der Vaart and Huntelaar as to who should take the free kick. Little tussle between the substitutes. Well, this would finish it once and for all. It's going to be the left foot of Rafael van der Vaart to the Scotland wall. It really has taken an awful lot of the impetus out of this game. That goal by Elia. Inside added time now. Count. Deseu, he wants it back here. Demi Deseu. And it was behind everyone, particularly behind Huntelaar. Is that looking good for Northern Ireland? It wins apart. They're trailing 2-0 now, home to Slovakia. The World Cup dreams go up in flames. Chiseling away here, Chris Commons. His path was obstructed. Still there's time for George Burley in Scotland, but not an awful lot of time. Miller's up there. And it was a ragged attempt at winning the ball, if that's indeed what it was. Manus had moved up from his defensive position for the set piece. And again, Scotland supporters, it appears, are going to be deprived of the chance to go to a major tournament. It's been too long, quite frankly.
Well, 1998 is a long time, and, you know, it's difficult for a small nation to create the kind of players that you need to actually win out in a group like this. Even though it was a gentle-looking group at the beginning, the fact that you have Norway and Netherlands in it, it makes it, you know, you have to go out and win them. And obviously Scotland got off to that disastrous start against Macedonia.
Elia. Well, remember that name with the World Cup in mind next year. Eljero Elia. But at least Scotland, if they do go out, they won't have gone out with a whimper. Back by Van der Wiel. And Form has most definitely played his part. The goalkeeper, the stand-in, Darren Fletcher. And Naismith, unexpectedly getting the break of it. But a good stop by Form. Full time at Hampden Park. And George Burley's time as Scotland manager is very likely over. We won't know that officially for a while yet. But Scotland are out of contention for a playoff place. Indeed, they are going to finish third in this World Cup qualifying group, behind the Netherlands, who have put together a perfect 100% record, 24 points from 8 matches, and Norway, who, when last we heard, were leading against Macedonia. I suppose there is still time for that to change. But either way, Scotland are not going to be going to the playoffs. Instead, they will be looking on while others go to South Africa. It was a spirited effort here. It was an excellent effort for most of the 90 minutes. But the goal by Elia eventually sinking the Scots. And now the Dutch can prepare in the form of friendlies for South Africa between now and the start of the World Cup itself. Scotland 0, the Netherlands 1. Let's have a look at the shot here by Naismith, which the goalkeeper dealt with, and then Kenny Miller. Form getting the Man of the Match award. Just touching it onto the post and then reacting again. And no matter what Scotland tried, they couldn't push it home. The Dutch prevail by 1-0.
The NFL on ESPN returns for another season of hard-hitting action. Kerry Collins leads the Titans against Ben Roethlisberger and the Super Bowl champion Steelers. The NFL Kickoff Classic, live Friday on ESPN and ESPN HD.
Feel the excitement of Major League Baseball.
Hit well to the opposite field. Manny Ramirez just looks up and watches it go.
Where one pitch can decide the outcome of a game. Rays Red Sox, live Saturday on ESPN.
One part defense.
He makes a spectacular catch.
2 parts pitching.
He struck him out.
3 parts offense.
Back to the fence and gone.
Dash of stolen bases. The ingredients of the game remain the same. Catch the fever of Major League Baseball all season long on ESPN.
The time has come to separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Looking for number 4. He's got it.
2 divisions, 15 teams, and the best players of the league.
He has tied it.
Fighting for a playoff berth and a shot for the ultimate goal, lifting the cup.
The shot in the goal.
The countdown has begun. The MLS on ESPN.
The dream is over for Scotland. They won't be going to the World Cup finals in South Africa, but the Dutch have made it 8 wins out of 8 in Group 9, 24 points, the grand total. Now to some of the other scores. Sweden with a late winner against Malta. An important win for them in Group 1. Northern Ireland going down against Slovakia at Windsor Park. That might be the end of their World Cup qualifying dream as well. England cruising to victory against Croatia, so they will be through. Of course, the Dutch were the first European side to qualify. That was a long time ago now. Portugal looking good for victory. Pepe with the goal there against Hungary. They have designs on second place in all likelihood in Group 1. Germany, as expected, easing away from Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan coached by the former German boss, Bertie Vogts. Italy in control of their group. 2-0 the score against Bulgaria. Well, the Dutch wanted to finish with a flourish. Scotland wanted to stay alive. Unfortunately, from the Scottish point of view, there'll be no South Africa 2010. They did everything in their power, but couldn't fire it home. Scotland 0, the Netherlands 1. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage. Derek Ray saying good night.